John, it's a busy week. How are the group looking after Tuesday night's efforts?
The lads are looking great. You know, we trained really well today, which was good. Everyone's in a real good place, and really looking forward to the game on Saturday.
What about Lars Jürgen Salverson? Still smiling?
Yeah, he hasn't stopped smiling. I think the lads haven't stopped smiling as well. You know, it's a fantastic goal for him, I think, to score after such a difficult time out with injury, and then to come back and only be a big part player at the moment. You know, is frustrating for him for sure. But to get that goal, you know, it's lifted the whole dressing room, because we're so proud of him and the efforts he's put into to be back playing, and you know, we're delighted with him.
He talked a lot about the emotion and the time he had out and how difficult it was at times. I imagine that's something that you can relate to from your playing days.
Yeah, for sure, but it's important that dressing room keep you going, and you know, we've got a fantastic dressing room in there. We've got some great characters, and I know that the boys have kept right behind him, as they have with the other injured boys as well. So, you know, that's all part of building and recruiting correctly, and, you know, through them difficult moments, just not on the pitch but off it, when you're going through injuries or suspensions and, you know, or problems at home, then, you know, that dressing room are there to look after each other.
Lars also talked about his relationship with Carlton Morris and talked about how he's an inspiration. I know we've talked a lot about Carlton and we've talked about the goals, but can you give us a bit of insight into how important he is to the dressing room, and again, when you talk about character? Yeah,
again, I think when recruiting players, especially players in their late 20s, you know, clubs are sometimes a little bit reluctant to do that because there's no resale value and whatnot, which I half understand. But then you've also got to realise what good experienced players bring to any dressing room, and I think we've got the best in the business in Carlton. You know, I knew about his reputation before, but, you know, working with him every day, it's kind of bypassed that, you know, and you know, he's been instrumental up to now, and he's going to be even more so during the season, and to have that experience around the likes of Lars and Patrick and players like that, you know, he's great.
So 4 wins in a row for you, 3 wins in a row for Blackburn, your opponents on Saturday. What have you made of them recently?
Yeah, they've been great recently. You know, they've obviously started slowly like we did, and you know, they've done terrific. They're a really good, hard-working team. They're coached very well, and it's going to be a really difficult game. It's
such a competitive division. How hard is it for any team to put together the sort of runs that these two teams are on at the moment?
Yeah, I think just it's relentless, and you know, you have to be lucky with injuries and stuff like that. And you know, you just got to keep believing over the course of the 46 games. You go on good runs, you go on bad runs, and you know, to go on the run that both our teams have done up to now is a great achievement, and it's just important that you don't get too carried away with it and you go into the next game ready and prepared, and you know, I'm sure both teams will be.